have a special place in my heart for the absurdity of celebrity cameos on reality TV.
I have to say this is the best pancake I've ever had.
If you've been to the channel before, you already know that I love this concept on Big Brother, because there's something inherently magical about watching a famous person make awkward small talk with Big Brother house guests, especially when they don't seem to have much of an idea what is going on.
Challenging? Is that the best way to say it?
But our last discussion about field trips outside the house was just a warm-up. Today I'm bringing you the advanced stuff. Because it obviously gets much, much weirder when Big Brother sends someone into the house. And though they're usually there to promote the latest bullshit that CBS thinks I'll care about, I've come to look forward to these moments for their potential to deliver me the weird shit I crave. Some of these famous house visitors are actually fans of the show and are excited to be there. The majority have little to no idea what's going on and are eyeing the exit the entire time. It's that same chaos that made Celebrity Big Brother such a fun format.
Love you, baby.
Hi.
I vote Chuck.
Thank you, Meta.
If you've never seen all these before, it might be worth catching up on, especially since we're right in the middle of the big corporate conglomerate rebrand.
We live here now, on Mount Paramount.
I can't help but think that Big Brother's historical role as the great CBS crossroads could become more relevant in the near future. And these days, who knows who could stop by.
Hola, soy Dora!
So, let me take you through all of the distinguished guests of the Big Brother house, and as is my specialty, give you way more context than you ever needed, and we'll dive into whatever strange rabbit holes we find along the way. In the interest of time, we're not counting any alumni visits, or the actors they've hired to give out clues and stuff. We'll save those for a rainy day. And absolutely no video messages from the outside, because fuck the BB takeover, and I said that shit. Celebrities have long been encroaching into reality TV since the genre first exploded in popularity in the early 2000s. But the early dominance of the competition reality format was soon rivaled by a subgenre focused entirely on famous people acting like normal, relatable people. Our fascination with these role reversals explains why so much of our reality TV is the way it is now. But also why the producers of Big Brother have so often returned to the trope of the celebrity cameo. We like to see celebrities acting like us. And on the rare occasion that Big Brother finds a famous person that watches this nonsense show, these segments can actually be kind of fun. A classic example of this came at the final 6 of Big Brother All-Stars.
This is unbelievable. I got to go into the Big Brother house today. Who can say that? I'm a huge fan of the show. All-Stars, best season ever.
Merry Christmas! Ho! Ho! Ho!
When Dr. Will entered the Big Brother house for the second time, he made it his personal mission to get his favorite actor on the show. Maybe the 2.5 Men thing the season before made him really jealous. Now, it helps that Neil is already CBS approved.
Best show on television. How I Met Your Mother.
But thankfully, the point isn't really to advertise a CBS show or make us watch a highlight reel, thank God. And this is no CBS fabrication. NPH is a certified fan and Dr. Will stan.
I feel like I've won some sort of contest.
This encounter even made it into his autobiography, which is written in second-person point of view for some reason, don't ask. And here in the house, he knows his way around. He knows the lingo.
Wow, that's all kind of nasty. The table keep getting smaller?
Yeah.
And he even stops by the DR to give us his takes.
George is nice, really funny. He's a little, simple, because if I see Mike Boogie wear a Dolce shirt one more time on the show, really.
But it wouldn't be a BB meet and greet without a small dip into Bizarro Town. It was billed as a Christmas in August luxury reward, and my personal theory is Grodner sent some production assistant to Walmart like 30 minutes beforehand.
These are all directly from me.
And they came back with Converse, whatever the fuck this shirt is, just some underwear for the ladies.
This is so weird. Santa would like to buy you a pair of panties, little girl.
And the best prize in Big Brother history.
Nintendo! Yeah!
Well, I guess nothing will ever really top Maggie getting a PSP at her Kmart birthday and her not knowing what it is. Now, a few things you should know about this. They all look like shit because most of them went to bed at like 5 in the morning and Neil arrived at 9:30. Also, the big joke is that Will was dreaming about NPH before he suddenly appeared in the room. But I feel it is my personal duty to tell you that Will did in fact have a full-on erection when Neil woke him up.
Like,
we have security from Neil Patrick Harris. He's kind of a stalker.
Well, Friendship ended with Boogie, now Neil Patrick Harris is my best friend. No, like for real, they still hang out. Overall, I think this segment demonstrates the entertainment value of bringing an outsider's perspective to our cast of characters, a role that is now mostly reserved for Zingbot. So much so that our next Superfan house visitor was brought in under the pretense that Zingbot is dying or something.
I've been watching the live feeds and I got here as soon as I heard. There's something seriously wrong with Zingbot. He's only dishing out compliments.
Handsome face!
Now, I'm totally fine with the stupidity that is Zingbot.
What a beautiful chamber!
But you have to admit that he does bring a level of artifice and theatrics to the table. Need I remind y'all that the person in the suit is not really the one talking, it's just playing over the loudspeakers. And I feel like Kathy's visit comes off as less authentic as a result.
Zingbot, you're supposed to be zinging people.
She's not here to eat the slop, tour the house, or visit the diary room. Just host a competition and do some jokes.
Hashtag the library is open.
You and Amber have something in common. You think she's drop dead gorgeous, and she wants you to drop dead. I would zing you, but I'm only supposed to zing people that are actually playing the game. What do you call someone who's not afraid to cry, wears pink, and cuddles with men? You call them Zach.
What a thrill.
I've spent a weird amount of my free time trying to verify if Kathy Griffin is a true fan or not, and the evidence points to yes, probably.
When I'm on the road, I tend to look at it online, but the best part is I'm so old school, I do message boards. You heard me. Message boards.
Her friendship with Julie Chen certainly helped bring this to fruition. The rumblings first began during BB15. Andy, looks like you just barely missed out. I bring up this question of authenticity because she apparently wasn't very convincing to the house guests. This is weird, so she tells them to head to the backyard for the competition, then immediately exits through the storage room, and everyone is like, okay, I guess she's gone for the day. And while they're standing around, a few of them start bad-mouthing her. Caleb says she's a fake fan, Christine says she hates her, but apparently Kathy could still hear them. That's why they all look so shocked when they see her in the backyard. She yelled something like, "Oh, so I'm not a real fan, huh?" Sort of an Eric bad-mouthing Janelle moment. There's an awkward air hanging over the rest of this encounter.
Hi, house guests. Miss me?
Not much more to say on this. Frankie wins the veto for the gays, Zingbot is resuscitated or whatever, and then Kathy gets upstaged by the best joke of the night.
You haven't made any enemies except for maybe Christine's husband.
I can't help but view Kathy's visit in a negative light, knowing that they brought her back the very next season. Seriously, it was the exact moment that I knew the BB takeover was even more of a bust than I already assumed. Rest assured, she will never return to Big Brother again. When the Moonvest stuff went down in 2018, Kathy went full blast on Julie. She hit the old reset button, if you will. Even if you're not a Kathy fan, I highly recommend this truly iconic tweet thread. This woman for real ended a text to Julie Chen with, "Bye, bitch." Finally, my favorite Superfan house visitor arrived at what I would call a dubious house.
I had to. My name is Bobby Moynihan. I'm a huge Big Brother fan.
No, seriously, he is an active fan. Here he is with Nicole Anthony.
I love the Julie pause when someone's talking in her ear. I love when she starts to go, so. When you show you, I have this.
Oh.
Kevin has one, and
Yes.
I acquired one somehow.
His enthusiasm immediately shows, and you really get the sense he's been watching this season closely.
If I'm Mark, yeah, Elena won't come anywhere near me.
So we tell stories here at night.
I know, I've listened to many of your stories. You're a very good storyteller.
He is here to promote his new sitcom for CBS, but this all came about from Bobby's initiative.
Like, the first thing I did at the upfronts, it was like, congratulations, you got the show. And they were like, you're about to go on stage and announce the show. And I was like, great, can I go to the Big Brother house after this? I was a fan of the show, so I wanted to, like, make jokes, and I wanted to be fun. Like, it was my idea to do the pots and pans because Josh had been doing the pots.
Right.
And it's great. He's in the DR doing impressions and making fun of the cast.
The second I met Raven, she showed me her pacemaker. Maybe lead with a handshake.
Because good lord, is this ever a season that needs an outsider's perspective.
This is the greatest gift I've ever been given. It's also going to remind me that these people are idiots and should have gotten Paul out in like easily week 1.
Bobby gets to live out his dream and host a classically wacky veto competition.
The punch slap kick machine.
And in my book, at least, I think he's a funnier host than Kathy.
I think Christmas may have another broken bone after that one. Zing! I feel I'm very unnaturally doing this in my Big Brother hosting voice.
As a fan, it must be pretty wild seeing the mass Paul psychosis in action during a pivotal veto competition. To witness the final death knell of a whistle nut, what a moment.
As a fan, this is awesome. Who's ready for another tiebreaker sequence? Yeah! I know I am.
But because it's BB19, Paul's reign continues and he wins a special trip to visit the set of Me, Myself, and I after the season. However, it did get canceled 6 episodes in, so he probably wouldn't have been in the mood for it anyway. Now let's turn to the more awkward type of house visitor. Celebrities who have no idea what they signed up for. Like I said in my earlier video, there's nothing better than watching someone not familiar with Big Brother suddenly forced to comprehend it on camera. Drew Carey was able to process the enigma of Amber on his home turf, but it would have been a whole different ballgame if he had actually visited the house. Non-fan house visitors bring more emotional complexity to the experience. Confusion, curiosity, impatience, and certainly there's a small element of fear walking into this house. First up is a man wearing the most wrinkled shirt I've ever seen on TV.
Hey. Oh. How are you? To you. Hey, everyone okay?
Yeah?
Yes?
If any celebrity could come in the house, Jeremy Piven is definitely up there.
Now, I know exactly 2 things about this man. 1, my freshman year frat guy roommates thought he and his show were God's gift to man. And 2, in more recent times, his CBS show got canceled after a bunch of Me Too type allegations. So I don't think he's my kind of guy. And maybe it's the shirt, but it feels like he rolled out of bed an hour ago.
Who do you guys think is going to be the first one to lose it? My money says it's this woman right here. You know, and God bless you, because I've been here for 11 minutes, and I'm about to have a complete emotional breakdown.
Grodner said, just go in there and make jokes, I guess. Just wing it.
That was the first girl that I ever laid on top of in my life.
Really?
Awkward.
So Big Brother turned you straight? Have you guys been hooking up with each other? Be honest. Is that what's happening? Is that not allowed?
Yes, the movie he's here to promote looks like total ass.
Good to see you, my friend. So let's take a look at the trailer. It's called The Goods.
It's produced by Adam McKay and Will Ferrell, whose films have been advertised a few times on Big Brother.
Get ready to spin out with Ricky Bobby and Talladega Nights!
Stop screaming, okay?
But of these 3, The Goods was the worst of the bunch, it seems. Don't worry, Jeremy. Critically speaking, yours still scored higher than the other movie screening of BB11.
I think Katherine Heigl is beautiful.
And they do a whole themed competition for the chance to watch this movie, but by that point, Piven is long gone. He seriously was speedrunning this shit.
In the backyard, you guys know where to go. I'll see you guys on the other side.
How are we going to be able to take you up on that?
On the other side?
Oh, you'll find us.
I'm gonna find you, yeah, it's easy to find. I know how to find you guys.
He's ready to get the fuck out, and it's only been 5 minutes. But to be fair, he's had a very busy press week.
Jeremy Piven on the top rope. Okay.
At least he had a captive audience in this particular cast. Just ask Lydia Piven. And for what it's worth, this movie seems tailor-made for the Russells of the world. This man had a bottle of wine and 6 beers at the movie screening. He was officially on one. To be fair, though, this is what happened like 10 minutes before the movie.
You should have been on America's Top Terrorist.
Who do you guys think is gonna be the first one to lose it?
Our next house visitor was at least a little more down to clown. And this time, the reveal is more creative than just a doorbell ring.
I'm on the new CBS show, same name, where I trade lies with a celebrity who has my name.
What's your name?
What's your name?
That's right, it's a riddle time, and everyone's guesses are terrible.
Barbara Streisand.
Official guess is Michael Jackson.
Luckily, Jordan clocks it on the first clue, though the fact that she only remembers the Baywatch character name is interesting.
The Hoff was in the house.
I love how much this blows his mind.
Whoa, whoa.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Do you each have your own room?
No.
It's not guys and girls.
No.
Oh, well, that's all right.
And he actually gets a tour of the house, including this standout moment.
I'll tuck you in, Hoff. I tucked in David Hasselhoff.
But like Jeremy Piven, after a few minutes of social interaction, you can start to see him getting antsy.
Kid, get me out of here.
Some serious food here.
All right, let's grab something and let's get in here.
Don't let the multiple Brinchel marriage crisis scenes fool you. This man eats 3 pieces of sushi standing up in about 20 seconds and leaves.
And so what do you guys usually do?
All day.
All day?
It gets a little monotonous around here.
Actually, I've got to run, but you guys enjoy the show. All right, God bless. Keep the faith. All right.
All right.
I've now come to understand why he didn't want to stick around for the screening. Look, I know this is a long video, but please allow me to tell you about the episode of Same Name I watched for you. It is unquestionably the worst show ever promoted on Big Brother, and no one on earth remembers that it existed except us. And when I found it on an actual streaming platform, I couldn't pass up this opportunity. Alright, I can do this in about 2.5 minutes. Let's start a timer.
Go.
In a nutshell, every scene, every scenario, every moment of dialogue in this show is fake and annoying.
What my job is to get inside here and clean all this oil.
Yes.
Kid, pick me up, get me out of here.
Family, we talked to our kids, just talked like family is supposed to talk.
Similar vibes to Celebrity Wife Swap and stuff like that, but I think the real culprit is that it shares a lot of DNA with a show I absolutely despise, Undercover Boss. The show that CBS premiered in the middle of an economic collapse to tell us that CEOs are good, actually. Here, it's the same hokey bullshit.
2 brand new X-Mark lawnmowers.
Doesn't matter if you're a TV star or a lawnmower company. It all comes down to one thing, and that's family.
I had an eye-opening experience, really. Y'all earn what y'all have, I promise you.
I'm supposed to be very impressed that David Hasselhoff is busy sometimes.
Okay.
We have a busy day today, okay?
Wow, that's a busy day.
Woman's charity luncheon. Then he goes to Britain's Got Talent. That's just February.
The only thing I really enjoyed from the experience of watching this is this special cameo from the Paramount Pictures universe.
That's from the SpongeBob movie.
That scared the hell out of me.
Hey, did you know that Hasselhoff tried and failed to sell this at auction earlier this year? Whoever wins BB23 should have enough money to get it. So yes, I can verify that Same Name was an absolute disaster based on the pilot episode. Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I'm glad I took the time to subject myself to this show, because something weird happened during the scene where the Texas guy tries sushi for the first time.
That is really good.
Wait, hold on a second. Run the tape back. What was this restaurant called?
The Hoff arranged for me to go to the Geisha House because that's one of his favorite places, and he wanted me to experience Hollywood.
Wait, is this a backdoor commercial for Mike Boogie's fucking restaurant?
I actually own a large Japanese restaurant that serves great sushi.
The one he embezzled all the money from and eventually tanked? Is this what this has all been about?
You gonna grab a little bit?
It was good. That's good, though. That's delicious. I love this.
Are the only celebrities Big Brother can get their hands on the ones they corner at this restaurant? Wait, what do you mean there's an episode of Entourage set here? 3, what is happening? 2, 1. We have to move on, because there was unfinished business on BB13.
Hope it's Tori Spelling. Is it Tori? Is Tori Spelling gonna come?
Tori, are you out there?
With only a few episodes left, and with Adam still clinging to life somehow, they finally did it.
Plus, Pandora's box is back with a celebrity twist.
It's not really that different from the Dr. Will wish fulfillment, except it's the bacon guy.
So obviously you know how much Adam loves that episode on Live.
Well, I might have heard something about it.
Props to whoever convinced this very pregnant lady to do this, and be a good sport about it. Because this could have gotten real weird real fast, given the sexual undertones.
I don't know. She just makes my loins feel funny.
Oh my God.
My advice to her would be to run.
My girlfriend got upset was when I did call her Donna when we were laying in bed watching Donna doing that.
I thought you were about to say something else.
Stop it. Get some help.
They keep it relatively tame, thankfully.
Tori Spelling kissed my duck.
And I like how Tori just starts throwing 90210 trivia at him. For me, this would be like if McCrae walked into my apartment and started quizzing me. Which, hey, the invitation is always open, buddy. You know what would make this segment 1,000 times better, though? Imagine if Adam had won HOH, opened Pandora's box, and been forced to stay locked away with Jesse upstairs the whole time. The torment would have been glorious TV. For the BB Canada fans, it makes me think of Ica shredding all those letters while everyone's losing it. Bitch! But instead, the whole Pandora's box element just further emphasizes how rigged BB13 was. When Portia's in power week 8, the box infamously reintroduced the duos twist, solely for the purpose of protecting the vets and forcing the newbies to eliminate one of their own. And now when Rachel's in power the next week, it's, oh, you don't get to go on the Tori Spelling shopping spree. Still, Rachel took a long time before choosing to open it. Not that it's clear whether or not they've ever really had a choice in the matter. So, sorry your game is fucked, Adam, but at least Allison Grodner helped you elevate your Twitter reply guy game. And to round out the category, the most forgettable house visitor. I'll let Gina Marie here fill you in. She's been in the DR practicing how to say this name for 10 minutes.
Marcella Valladolid from the American Baking Competition on CBS.
Yes! This one barely even counts as a house visitor for several reasons. One, this is the first veto of the summer. It's on day 7. Y'all motherfuckers just got there. You're not socially deprived enough yet to have guests. 2, Marcella never enters the house or anything, and really she doesn't leave this 3-foot radius. And as a result, she barely says anything to the house guests. It's all straight from the cue cards.
Are you guys ready to play the Big Brother Baking Competition?
At least they don't waste their time with the trailer for the show. I think most of the effort went into designing all this baking stuff.
Muffins, blueberries.
Great! As always, I want to know more about what got left out of the edit, which can sometimes be hard to cobble together from live feed fragments. Luckily for the past 2 months, I have become legit internet friends with this guy.
You have received the gift of friendship.
Welcome to the inaugural Checkin' In with McRae segment. When I asked him about this encounter, he reports that it was indeed as awkward and stilted as it comes across on screen. And more importantly, big stupid Jeremy was trying to schmooze her. I ask you all, does that surprise you in the slightest?
So I'm just gonna turn on the Cherokee Charm.
I just want to make love to you right now.
I find it incredible that someone with so little interest in being here was able to witness what I consider a monumental, historic BB moment.
I didn't get a chance to spell anything.
What is going to be a long letter, 11 word, how to spell competition, but I didn't have the word M and P.
An iconic night to be an uninformed spectator, topped off by our patron saint, Slime Boy, winning the spelling competition he's trying to throw.
My friend, good job.
Thank you very much.
Don't touch me.
Okay.
If the segment feels a little underdone, I might have the reason why. CBS's attempt at an American adaptation of Great British Bake Off was already performing horribly, and this promo was a last-ditch effort to boost ratings for a renewal. But it didn't work, and they pulled the plug on it a few weeks later. It was off the air before Caitlyn was evicted, to give you a reference point. But the real story is that at this moment, a huge scandal was making headlines because Marcella and her co-host Paul Hollywood had an affair during the course of filming, which ended both of their marriages. And part of the reason the show was canceled was because it, quote, caused a viewer backlash on the internet with American viewers bombarding the CBS site with critical comments. Now why does that sound familiar?
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
The rare Big Brother concert is undoubtedly the most fun kind of house visit, because we actually get to experience the entertainment. Before we discuss the one you've been thinking about since this video began,
Oh my God. What? Nothing, keep getting it.
let's talk about the more recent concerts first. One absolute classic that comes to mind is Ziggy Marley's briefest of journeys to the BB18 County Fair during one of those boring-ass Friday clip shows they throw into the schedule from time to time.
I'm gonna do a song called Weekends Long for You. It's from my record, so.
Now, since this aired just 24 hours after Polly's eviction, anyone with a brain understands that this had to be filmed before that week's live show. But because Allison Grodner thinks our heads will implode if we still see Polly on our TV screen, the producers put a bizarre amount of time and effort into erasing Polly from all of the footage. It's admirable, the lengths they went to. All the quick cuts and tight angles. Reminds me of that guy who made a cut of the BB19 finale with Paul entirely removed. Hilariously, Ziggy himself exposed this ruse by tweeting out this photo the night of. Oh hey there, Paulie. And not that I'm complaining about his removal, especially since this was right after the veto meeting and he's in the throes of his great sadness.
I'm up on the bar next to my boy. It sucks, dude. I want to see you be the best person you can be. The badass Califury brother.
Yeah, badasses can break down sometimes, bro.
Like, I don't even want to get out of bed and shit because of the overwhelming feeling of dread and sadness that clouds my entire being and keeps me from being the person who I think I should be and shit.
Anyway, after playing a 4-minute song, you might expect Ziggy to play some more or chat with the house guests a little, but instead he says 4 beautiful words.
You guys, good luck!
One more song!
The pleas of the socially deprived fall on deaf ears. Ziggy is out of here. He might have been on pace to beat the Piven record, who knows. My personal theory, CBS forced him to come here as a repayment for letting him be on Hawaii Five-0 earlier that year.
With guest star Ziggy Marley.
What's happening?
Ziggy's reluctance contrasts well with... Hi there. Ziggy's reluctance contrasts well with BB Rex's cozy little concert for the Final 5 of BB20. It's a nice vibe, good performance. I mean, at least for those of you who aren't filled with rage at this stuff.
Which means feeds get blocked, and I don't give a shit who you are.
Unfortunately, it is BB20, so JC is there.
This song, I'm a mess. Hello? It's like she's like talking like personally to me.
But seeing the joy this brings Sam is genuinely heartwarming.
Did I just hear that right? Private BB Rexa concert? Am I still alive?
She's in disbelief and on the verge of tears the entire time. We promise she's okay, BB. They turned her into a robot and stuff. Don't worry. Points to Miss Rexa for actually engaging in some small talk.
Cool. Can I ask you a question? Do you feel like your mind is clear without cell phones and stuff? Without social media?
Yeah.
Right? It's like refreshing.
You don't need it. It's so nice. Yeah, you really don't need it.
I've heard the same version of this conversation several times at this point.
You don't have an iPod for your music?
No.
I mean, sure, Big Brother is a nice 3-month sabbatical, but for most house guests, it's immediately followed by 10,000 times more Twitter than they've ever experienced. Looking at you, JC, at this moment you have a lot of tweets about minions waiting for you. Sometimes a BB concert is used to punish us.
I've literally been around the world. I never found anybody like you in my life. Atlantic Records recording artist Brett Eldridge is here to sing his new song.
I'm adding this to the ongoing list of Big Brother emulating The Bachelor, except this time with a PowerPoint presentation on a TV screen. If I were in charge, I would have chosen some different clips to include in the montage.
You see.
So I don't give a fuck if your little sister's gay. Think about what it is.
I hate this one so much. Probably because it's apparently also Caleb's favorite guy.
Just requested to hear you in the room yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Golly.
I did find a great conversation on feeds where Caleb predicts his future encounters with Brett Eldridge, which descends into a Star is Born type fantasy where Brett will invite him to a show and sing with him on stage. Caleb, these people are just not into you, man. Okay, enough fucking around. It's time for the undisputed champion. Heading into the back half of Big Brother 3, the producers wanted some spectacle to boost the ratings. First with a special sexy clip show.
And TV's most outrageous cast with never-seen-before footage.
Though any new horny viewers they picked up were probably instantly scared away. Then after a 5-day break, Big Brother returned with a huge 2-hour broadcast event, covering Amy's return to the house, nominations, a food comp, the veto, and a surprise concert.
We don't need music for our heart, but we need music for our feet. I think dancing and having a good time right now will be wonderful.
They all knew something was up. At one point, Jason literally hears them tuning a guitar outside. Then Big Brother makes them do a preschool activity to solve the riddle, but it's honestly such an iconic reveal. I think Roddy said it best that night. Honestly, Marcellus, John Tesh could have come and played his worst hits and we would have been jumping and cheering. But Sheryl Crow, at her peak in 2002? That's insane.
Even though you intellectually know it's Sheryl Crow, you don't believe it's Sheryl Crow.
It's the first celeb house visitor and, in my opinion, the biggest. Look, I know it's basic white people music, but I'd like to personally apologize to Sheryl. As a youth, I thought I was too good for this kind of top 40. I thought it had no substance. I had real stuff to listen to. But watching this now, it's a big, loud, fucking awesome performance. Even her guitarist is doing sick shit. Unlike the other concerts, she plays 3 whole songs, including the pinnacle of 2002, Soak Up the Sun. A song which, as I'm learning right now, she wrote to enliven people living in a post-9/11 society. Sure.
Cheers, I'll drink to that, bro.
Apparently Cheryl is healing both the Big Brother house and an entire nation's trauma. Everyone loses their mind, Danielle especially.
That is Cheryl Crow!
I am losing myself, and I tell you, I felt young.
And yeah, maybe they come on a little strong.
We're starved for affection.
I think she thought I might have jumped on her.
But Cheryl's a pro. Look, she survived Woodstock 99. She's faced down a horde of angry, dehydrated new metal bros waiting for ICP to come on stage. She can handle this group. Plus, she was actually watching BB3 that summer.
We're gonna plan till you guys vote us out.
Who's gonna win? Everybody's like, y'all know I'm gonna win.
The weirdest thing I found is that, according to Roddy, at some point, Sheryl Crow allegedly told him, hey, don't trust Jerry. I don't know if he made this up, but if it's true, Cheryl, you're a legend. I want to live inside this moment because I don't think we'll ever get something like this again. A celebrity visitor that brings this level of joy and entertainment. That's where we'll stop for today. Perhaps another time we can talk about the original house visit from Big Brother 2, when they sent in 4 people from Survivor. But it's an entirely different beast. If nothing else than for the fact that they're there for 48 hours. It's too much for this video. I hope you've earned an appreciation for the highs and lows of celebrity house visitors. I know it's easy to get annoyed when this show slows down to focus on something other than the game, but the awkward energy and unintentional comedy is worth it for me at least. Thank you to everyone who has shared my videos so far, even the ones not named McCrae. I'm already closing in on 1,000 subscribers from only 2 videos so far, so it seems like there's a pocket of you weirdos out there who are willing to dive deep into Big Brother lore with me. I'll be back with something else for you soon. I don't really have an upload schedule, and I spend a lot of time making these. Also, if you like my 8-bit retro-style Big Brother music, I think I'm going to be uploading them here soon, as soon as I finish watching these other 3 episodes of Same Name. You guys, good luck.